Hello, this is the podcast formerly known as Another Podcast. I am Coleman. This is my friend Luke here.
Yep, it's me.
And, well, for people that don't know this,
This is our 14th episode, right?
yeah, you could say that, I guess. I mean, it's the one after the 4th episode.
Oh.
But,
Well, that makes it a very different number.
Yeah, but...
Let me recalculate that.
How about those tigers?
What?
Yeah, that was a new voice for people that don't know that. That was my dad.
That was our 2-second guest star.
Yep.
Ben Hansen.
I guess we could talk about the Tigers at some point.
No, absolutely not.
Anyway.
Whatever's going on out there in the wide world of sports it's news to me. I have no idea.
Well, I kind of pay attention to the Tigers, but anyway.
They do bad every year.
Not this year. They're the best team in the MLB right now.
Oh, whatever.
Anyway.
No one's ever heard of an MLB.
Okay. Nobody's ever heard of, like, the billion-dollar franchise of baseball players.
Which one is that?
Exactly. If you haven't noticed, we are now on YouTube now. And for the people listening on YouTube, we were originally on Spotify.
Yeah, so get it right.
Yeah.
All of you YouTube listeners, just switch over to Spotify, and all you Spotify listeners, switch over to YouTube. And
yep.
We've done our job here by mentioning this.
Yep. And I think you should all just subscribe, we had to say that in one episode at some point.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, well, we have to now. Anyway, we have icy hand sanitizer, alcohol-free, grape-flavored. What on earth is this?
Well, it's very important that we talk about this because I have no idea. Yeah, it is hand sanitizer, not meant to be ingested.
It's alcohol-free, so you won't get drunk off of it.
Yeah, so it's almost like they're encouraging you to drink it by telling you that you're not going to get drunk, even though you're not supposed to drink it because it's still hand sanitizer, even though it's being made by a company that makes slushies.
Yep.
It's got the same logo. It's got essentially a flavor category with it being labeled grape and all that. Actually, Coleman, this is what you should take a picture of for the episode.
I was just thinking about that.
People need a visual aid to comprehend just how bizarre this is.
I'll take a picture of this while we're talking about it, but I'll probably switch it back to one of them, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, using your editing techniques, you could technically probably have multiple pictures in a single episode, couldn't you?
Yeah.
That's groundbreaking.
Yeah, the back literally says, warnings, for external use only.
That's not eating.
Do not eat or drink, in all caps.
Mm-hmm.
Then it says flammable, keep away from fire and flame, keep out of reach of children, and then again it says some other stuff and says do not eat or drink. So
they managed not to put that anywhere on the front for some reason.
It's just a label that says icy alcohol-free grape, but it says hand sanitizer on it.
Maybe if you eat it out of the front, it's okay, but if you eat it out of the back, it will not be.
We could try it.
Yeah. If we don't have an episode next week, I guess you'll all know why.
So that we all have to, mention here. I did bring all my Harry Potter.
Yeah, we're segueing here, people.
Yeah, we might come back to the hand sanitizer at some point, maybe.
Gosh, I hope so.
But I have a wonderful collection of them.
Yeah, you have a whole assortment of little Lego Harry Potter people.
I still have the Voldemort you gave me.
Yep. I don't know what era you would even consider that from. That's from when, for those of you who can't see it, which is everyone, he had, it was a Voldemort from back in the era where they had, like, not the 4-length bar
It was
wands like they did in
wasn't
the
it like
original.
the 3.
Yeah, they shortened it to 3, so it looked a little bit more like a wand.
Then they shortened it to like 2, but they actually look like wands.
Yeah, it actually looks like a wand, and it's got this ball end so they can actually hold it straight out. I think it totally changed the landscape of Lego Harry Potter to have semi-decent wands.
Yeah, it actually, made sense to actually give them a wand that looks like, this, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably the single biggest thing that just, like... I mean, Lego Harry Potter... it wasn't my bag. I didn't really care about Harry Potter growing up. I appreciate it a lot better now, but...
it's evolved a lot over the years.
Yeah, I mean, when they started out, close to the same time, I think that Lego Star Wars was getting its start. I mean, the brand completely fizzled out for a while, and now it's pretty much on footing with Lego Star Wars. They
recreated the Night Bus Lego set.
Yeah, no, over and over again.
About 2 years ago, I got that Lego set. It was the newest one at the time. And then, I looked at it, and they have a new one. Honestly, the one I have looks better.
That happens. They did that with the Tumbler, the Batmobile from, the Dark Knight series. They had a version of it like a year or two ago. Probably the best one that they've ever put out at regular set scale, and then they just released it again like a few months ago. It wasn't as good; it was smaller, but they had Two-Face. They've never done a Dark Knight Two-Face. So
yeah, we can all say that Lego Star Wars was smart in one thing, because the B-Wing Lego set that you have is probably the best one they've made. And they have not remade it since then.
I think after the one that I've got, they did have an Ultimate Collector Series B-Wing that was very good. The only complaint I had about that was, they used like the cockpit style from the Eta 2 Actus.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that part was kind of awkward because it's like it slopes up and then it slopes back down. Or it should have just, been a slope up thing. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Thank goodness we're talking about this.
I had to bring this up, that they keep changing how they want the brooms.
Oh, yeah.
The original Harry Potter, flying brooms were one piece.
Yeah.
One mold, one piece.
Just a broom.
And then they changed them. Well, this one has 4 pieces, but they did have it where it's just the 2 at one point. They did that for about 6 months, probably. And then they changed it back to this.
Really?
Yes, they have changed it back to the 1 piece. And the 1 piece, honestly, are kind of better, except they're soft plastic, and after you use them, they do chip away after a while, like that.
Oh, wow.
So, I honestly like these ones because they're a harder plastic and they don't chip away.
Well, I mean, having the footrest thing, it's pretty sophisticated.
Yeah, it looks cooler.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I do like those ones better.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they changed them back, but they did.
Yeah, Lego, they just never stay doing a thing,
Yeah, they can't really make up their mind.
Right. It's very frustrating. I'm really, really old, and let's not any of us ever forget it. So, I've watched, the development of Lego Star Wars, from the beginning, and I can't even tell you how frustrating it was when they switched over from yellow people to the skin tone people. And just the years it took to,
the skin...
Get a skin tone version of every one of the characters that you already had in yellow, and they just look ridiculous together. And
honestly, from the yellow to the skin tone, they really didn't change facial features that much. It was more just they changed the color.
Yeah.
Really, it would be different if it was from yellow to, some of the ones we have now, with a lot of the different facial features and,
Yeah, they
it wasn't just the typical smiley face or something.
Right.
Or you know, where it was different, it was a little different for each character, but not much.
I miss the days when they had the most perfectly generic Lego face for, like, you know, the generic, like, Imperial officers.
Yeah, or stormtroopers or something.
Well, yeah, but particularly Imperial officers. It was just such a joy to have, you know, your little Lego Imperial officer guys have that little smiley face. It's just perfectly generic smiley face. It's like, they have the worst job in the galaxy. They spend all day getting choked out by Darth Vader, but, you know, they're just happy little guys.
Yeah, and yep, yeah. Can't get much better than that.
No, but you know, it's all in your attitude.
Yeah,
and you know, good on them. They're just positive little dudes.
The one thing, speaking about smiley faces, I don't think there's ever been a Voldemort minifigure without a smile.
No, I disagree. I'm pretty sure there's. I mean, yeah, usually.
Both of mine have smiles on them.
And, you know, he should, because he's just a happy guy, too.
Yeah, he's happy killing people.
Right. Well, when you're the in-charge bad guy, you're allowed to be happy. I mean...
yeah. You know...
It's almost encouraged.
He just laughs and yells, Harry Potter, Avada Kedavra! You know.
I think that's 90% of what he has to say, right there.
Exactly, you know. There's... I have to bring this up now.
Okay.
There was a YouTube video I came across the other day. It was Voldemort versus Emperor Palpatine.
Okay.
And what they did was they took the footage of Emperor Palpatine fighting Yoda and then put Voldemort in there instead.
Oh.
So, it was kind of funny, honestly. And Voldemort, you would think he dies, and then he just, like... This part, they did so bad on it, and it made no sense. But it was just ironic to see him battle.
Yeah.
But, he dies and goes to that white place that Harry went in the Deathly Hallows. And, Harry's there. And he goes, Tom, you're our only hope. And the funny thing is Harry is not mouthing the words, you're our only hope. He is mouthing the words that he says to Dumbledore in the Deathly Hallows.
Oh, sure.
So, it looks so weird.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, Voldemort... welcome to the world of YouTube videos, particularly before, you know, people were just, like, AIing everything.
Yeah. And then Voldemort wakes back up and just looks at the Emperor, and the Emperor's just laughing, and he just goes, Avada Kedavra, and just kills the Emperor.
Oh. Well, sure. I don't know why you don't lead with that, but,
It would have just been so much quicker if it would have just Avada Kedavra. The Emperor can't beat that. Not really.
Yeah, I don't know what... Yeah, I don't know. Force versus magic gets messy.
Yeah.
I don't really like to think about it.
It kind of gets confusing after a while.
Yeah. But, right, well, there are countless other things we could talk about, I'm sure.
Yeah, what do you have? You've had to have an idea over the week.
I have, so many ideas, you know? Where do you even begin?
Besides drinking the, hand sanitizer of the icy?
Well, no, you know, one of the things that I was thinking about was I was reflecting more on, you know, what we enjoyed so much about last week's podcast, which was the, you know, celebrating the mothers of Lord of the Rings.
We're going back to this now.
Yeah, well, all I could think about, you know, being a mother, you know, at the time of the series was Galadriel, but I remembered another one, the very significant other mother in Lord of the Rings, and that was Shelob the spider. You know,
okay,
it counts.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, they don't really get into the fact that she'd had, you know, countless other spiderlings.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you read the books, they mention it. They mentioned it in the largely in the context of letting us know that she'd eaten them.
But she still was a mother.
Yeah, a terrible mother. But what do you expect from a giant spider, honestly?
True. Speaking of last week's episode, while I was editing it and listening to it, when we were talking about the sequels to Star Wars, and you said Leia would be a mother, and then I said no, Leia wouldn't be a mother, and it didn't cross my mind that Leia would have been a mother evidently last week.
Oh, well,
so I have
that was kind of an important
yeah, that was a very important role in the newer movies. So I kind of have to say, I'm just coming back and saying and apologizing to all the people out there that I lied to last week about how Leia wouldn't have been a mother.
Yeah, see, we'll correct ourselves when we think of it, we do that here.
Or if we, decide to. If we just don't decide to, I guess you're just,
Yeah, figure it out for yourselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think we're getting to a wrap.
Yeah, that's kind of not much, but we talked anyway, so...
The highlight of this episode was the icy hand sanitizer, alcohol-free, grape-flavored.
And, when that's the highlight, you've made it.
Yep.
It makes me think of, what is it, ACDC.
And why is that?
Well, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. That song, it has so many layers of irony in it, I feel like, because they had made it to the top, and they proved it by ruining that song with like 20 minutes worth of somebody just blasting on the bagpipes, and they got away with it. And that is when you know you've made it. You can ruin a rock song with and they just let you do it.
Do you know how many followers we're gonna get just because you mentioned ACDC?
Yep. Like another 3, maybe, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Well,
okay.
I think that's a wrap.
That's it.
This was the podcast formerly known as Another Podcast. Thanks for listening.
Thanks a lot.
This is Coleman and Luke signing out.
Yeah, bye.